Alright, and welcome to Data C. Data C, however you want to pronounce it. We're underwater. The bottom-ish left-hand corner from Mouse Sports. It is, of course, Heromarine. And in the top right-ish, it is Kaizi Gaming's Reynor. Hello, I'm TitanOnFire. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are. It could be night, it could be evening, I don't know, but I hope it's going well. If you just woke up, I hope you're having a good morning to start it off with some StarCraft action. If it's nighttime, maybe you're ending off your day or just having it for some lunch. Whatever, we're all enjoying the game. I hope it's going well. I'm a bit under the weather, if you cannot tell by my voice. But we're still gonna bring you some awesome action. It's been too long since I've cast StarCraft 2. It's too long. 2 weeks is far, far too long. And we got a really fun matchup because both these players had the interesting luck of getting knocked out by Maru in IEM Valencia. I think I said Katowice. I was cast in the last match. I think I said Katowice. Valencia. That was the one we just had. But yeah, both of them had the unfortunate luck of running into Maru. Reynor, of course, I think actually it wasn't in the quarterfinals. I think it was or not in the semis, in the quarters. And then Heromarine before that? Yes. Yeah, because it was Heromarine, Reynor, Korea. I got it. I know what I'm talking about. Anyway. So yeah, both of them ended up running into Maru. Did end up losing. And of course, these players have already played on the new map pool. They already know all about it. But for anyone that hasn't really seen enough of them, I will kind of refresh your memory. Data C here. It is our next underwater map, as is kind of the... We gotta have an underwater map. You just can't not, as we are going to see here. This SCV is pushed away. There was an early pool by Reynor. Obviously, this is just in case... Oh! That SCV. So close to juking and jabbing. This was, of course, just to protect in the chance that Heromarine does go for a proxy 2 racks, which on this map is not that unlikely. There's some really nice positions to nestle away your barracks, where it's really hard for the Zerg to scout them, as that Reaper gets very low, does snipe off a singular Zergling. It's going to be about it until it can heal it back on up. But yeah, so Reynor went for the early pool. It really hasn't done anything, but this isn't going to set the Zerg back, honestly, that much. It's going to, in fact, be fast 3CC here from Heromarine, so it's just going to be looking to really take advantage of any sort of economic lead that he might have off of these openings, where Heromarine did go for your standard barracks factory off of 1 gas. So he does have, you know, not the worker lead right now. It is 23 to 27, but is sitting right now kind of, I think, in a better economic position as... Ooh, nice. Ooh, can't quite deny the hatchery one more time, but does snipe another Zergling. But he's going to be taking advantage of this lead on his command center timing. And so that means that for the Terran, you're going to be pretty happy with your worker production. Pretty soon we're going to be having 3 SCVs at a time being produced onto this natural base. The starport is also going down. And so everything's just kind of coming together here for Heromarine, as you would expect. And Heromarine always has been, I think, the kind of stock standard Terran if you want to look for a good timing attack. Heromarine always has just amazing timings, very, very sharp control, and knows what he needs to do is, ooh, that's a nice snipe onto a creep tumor. This Reaper getting a bit more value than the average one, especially against Reynor. Sniping off a creep tumor is, of course, very, very nice. The queen count is already rising, though, so it's not going to necessarily be massive as if there was only the 1 active creep tumor. Reynor has already replanted it, has 2 of them going right now, as this Overlord is going to make its way on in. We'll be able to see the fact that this is actually a Raven being produced, and we've seen, I think it was Maru who was doing this in Valencia as well, in TVZ especially, was going for the Raven alongside these Hellions, because it's very hard to identify the fact that this is a Raven. It could be a Viking faking a Banshee, it could be a Banshee without cloak, or it's the Raven, and the Raven, of course, just allows you to clear up creep, so it does force the Zerg to be at least a little bit mindful and to give a little bit of respect to what this could be. And I mean, already Reynor does have very conservative Overlord positioning, but it will allow Heromarine to be very aggressive with these Hellions and cleaning up creep spread, because you're no longer going to need those scans. That no longer becomes a necessity for the Terran, and also opens up just a lot more room for the Terran now to do what they want on the map. When you clear up this creep, when you deny the Zerg vision, it's very hard for the Zerg to recognize a timing attack that's incoming until it is where it wants to be. And that's really one of the big things about the timing attacks is if you are able to set it up before the Zerg, pounces on you on the defense, you're going to have a much better chance of it working out than if, for instance, you're scouted halfway across the map by creep, and then Reynor has that whole time to set up, build units, knows exactly what concave he wants to try and hit, and that just doesn't look very pretty for the Terran. So I'm liking this play so far from Heromarine. Is going to be going for the tank push that we've seen be very, very popular recently with the 3 racks. Is going to be using this starport just to get these add-ons. The reactor has been built for the second barracks. The third one already going to be hopping over to that second reactor that is available. So we're going to have very, very quick 5 Marine production here from Heromarine as he's going also into the 5 racks play with 1-1 with Stim. This timing should line up with Stim and combat shields, as this is just going to be a dive in here with the auto turret. Yeah, Heromarine recognizes the fact that he does just have enough here to bully back these queens, and he's absolutely correct. Reynor does have to give some respect to these units with the auto turret. DPS added on in there, so it's a lot of energy used up. But the creep tumors can still be replanted as, oh my, circling run by is actually going to find its way into the natural. There's just no units here for Heromarine, as he was not producing Marines from this barracks with the tech lab. That means that a tank is going to go down. 6 SCVs fall, and that is extremely worthwhile for the Zerg. Is even going to get a 7th SCV. And that little pressure also means that Heromarine, I think, has forgotten to start up his combat shields, which again is a very, very important upgrade for this push. It's the 1-1. You want Stim and combat shields. Another Zergling run by. This time, though, it's going to be into Stim Marines. I think Heromarine, yeah, should be able to find that choke point. Is not microing this the best that he could, though. Still should be able to find at least a decent trade. 2 more SCVs are going to go down before the medevacs come through, and these red buys are actually getting so much value here for Reynor. Forces all these Hellions back. That means that they're not across the map right now, clearing up the creep, and so these queens have had free roam of the middle of the map and pushed this creep about halfway, are now looking to spread it lengthwise. Oh. Yeah, Heromarine is going to recognize there's a slight opening here. There's plenty of energy on those queens, as once again, where are the Marines? Heromarine! These run-bys by Reynor have just been brutal. He's finding so much value with just these small patches of Zerglings. And Heromarine has been out of position almost every single time. And this is getting quite bad. The Raven's all quite low on energy. You're going to need to see Heromarine back up with it. But mind you, the timing attack that was potentially there, you know, a 3-tank timing attack at 730, +1/+1, Stim and combat shields, that's no longer happening. There is no combat shields. There's only 2 tanks, and so Heromarine does not feel comfortable going for that attack and going for that timing, and so now he just has to sit back against a Zerg that's already at 4 bases. He's going to be adding on a 5th and a 6th, going up into 2-2 before the Terran even has their armory finished. And Reynor has just found so much value with these just little movements. It's absolutely incredible watching Reynor play, how he's able to just find these small little openings in the vision. And again, having this creep spread so far across the map already is certainly helping. I mean, this time that it takes for these Zerglings to get across the map is significantly reduced. So we're going to see more creep tumors get cleaned up here. We're going to have to be mindful as Heromarine that he's not going to get caught out here by the Zerglings, and that's exactly what Reynor's looking for, but the Marines have been brought forward. So Heromarine can at least start to clean up the creep here on one side of the map. The scan does go down just to get, I assume, an idea of how large the army is and where it's positioned, as we have the Zerglings wrapping around. Now the Banelings are still morphing in, and those are at the 3rd base location here for the 4th base location here for Reynor as a great anti-armor missile, but you gotta keep in mind, it's not a wraparound, it's just a counter-attack, as the wall was not lifted, and now Heromarine is gonna take so much damage. He's trying to push down the queens, and he's finding some decent damage across the map, but he has to be careful, as now the Banelings are gonna roll through. Heromarine is watching as the Marines get absolutely ravaged. 10 SCVs are gonna go down. There is still an army able to push here at the front. Luckily, I mean, there's just enough alive with the tanks to back up, but all of the Hellbats are gone, and that's not what you want as the Terran, as the supplies are pretty darn even here. We're going to see Heromarine evacuate, is going to do so. But now the tanks are going to go down. There's another tank remaining, so the drop down is going to come through. The Banelings going to find some pretty good connections, though. But Heromarine going to continue to push, and he needs to push it. 80 army supplied is 58 right now. Target fire going to go down. Some splits coming through, and they are pretty good here from Heromarine, but the Banelings at the last moment are going to come through and find some more connections as Heromarine has to pull back, and he's taking so much worker damage back at home, and I just don't know if it's going to be sustainable for him to try and pull back. He's at 7 barracks, 53 workers, another run by, and more SCVs are going to go down, and I think Reynor has found enough damage to force Heromarine all in, and if that's the case, Heromarine has not got enough damage to make this work as Reynor. He's just so good, man. He's just so good. How does he do it? How does he do it? How? I don't know. I'll never know. As we're going to see another run by get set up here by Reynor, just constantly just queuing them across the map. And I mean, this is the playstyle that we saw Cyril win world championships with, be the most dominant player for multiple years. So just constant run bys, constant attacks. I mean, Reynor, this feels like a playstyle that is taking his loss at Valencia to heart. Just constant pressure, making sure that if you are going to be attacking, he is going to punish you for it. There are just so many Banelings, and even with the SCVs, it is not enough. GG, Reynor takes game 1. And we have Stargazers. Looks a little bit like a Space Invader. Yeah, a very, very fun map. This is the map where we saw Dark win with the Nidus Worm into the Pocket expansion here at the back of the base against Maru. I believe, was that game 7 where he won with that? Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but spoilers, if that game hasn't been released yet. Oops. Has that? Oh, everyone's seen it. Listen, everyone's seen it. If you haven't seen, yeah, no, the finals have already been cast. If you haven't seen that finals, man, go watch it. That's like one of the best series of StarCraft. It's so darn good. Dark and Maru just playing so well right now, and they actually just played their GSL semifinals. I know after I cast this, I am going to watch that because I missed it. I was working, and I want to see it. I want to see how those semifinals went. Bunny, Hero, Dark, and Maru. And it would be a treat if we got a Hero Maru or a Hero Dark finals. I mean, just every player in there I'm so excited for. But alas, that is not what this is. No, we get 2 of the best European players, which is just as good, because we got Reynor and Heromarine. And obviously Heromarine, I liked the idea in game 1. It just came down to the fact, as I said, Reynor was looking for those slight openings where he knew most of Heromarine's units were across the map. He found the run by, and Heromarine's positioning was just not where it needed to be. And so 3 successful run bys in a row, especially that early in the game, it just slows down the Terran to a point that there was no real chance for Heromarine to find a successful push ever. And just continue damage with it. I mean, Reynor was just playing at another pace there, as we are going to see a very, very quick 3rd command center at the Pocket base. Of course, on Stargazers, this is extremely viable. This is a full mineral base. You just have to mine out 20 minerals. That is 4 SCVs, and you have a Pocket expansion that is very, very easy to take. And of course, there's always 2 trains of thoughts when it comes to these bases, where some players are like, well, you know, we can save that, because if I can get my farther out expansions quicker, especially as a Zerg, then I have this very, very safe base that I can take late in the game to have a bunch of guaranteed resources at. Whereas for a Terran, you might say, well, if I want to get that quick push and have that little boost of income, it's nice to get that base quickly, because it's really hard for the Zerg to punish, as they can with a 3rd base. As we saw in that last game, that Zerg can punish that early 3rd command center with the Zergling run bys if they play it right. And so we're seeing the 2 trains here kind of play out. Occasionally you'll see a Zerg take this as their 3rd base. It does not happen often, though. Again, the Zerg, if you can get these farther out expansions quicker and mine them out faster, then it is safer to take this base. Now with Stargazers, we also have this full gold base at the bottom that is, of course, going to be very hotly contested in the late game. I believe the only time we've seen it come into play is the game. I'll be casting it later this weekend. The series Maru versus Creator. I believe that base did come into play, which I'm very excited to see how much it actually ended up affecting the outcome of the game. As we have a 2-1 coming in here from Heromarine. So he's going to be looking for that 5-minute fly out with his medevacs and the Marines. There is an Overlord that here is actually not sitting on a pillar, and so that could be sniped if Marines did walk down. But right now, they're just blocking the way. If Reynor does fly this Overlord in, he'll still be able to see confirmation that it's a 2-1-1. So really, this Overlord will be able to get the information that it needs. It should fly in around the 5-minute mark at the latest here for Reynor if he wants to get that confirmation. But for now, we're just going to see the Zerg play safe. Stim pack is on the way. Lair just now started up, so we will see a decently timed Lair. Of course, no Roach Warren going down with this. It's just going to be Banelings. We don't really see that Roach style from anyone other than Dark occasionally. As, yep, Reynor flies it in, sees pretty much everything he needs to see, and is completely happy. 2 barracks and a starport. Knows exactly what build this is. Should be producing enough lings to deal with it right now. Yep, it's going to go up to 16. I think ideally, if you want to be comfortable against this build, adding on an additional 4 more Zerglings, as there we go. And yeah, 22. Just because if you're going up only up to 20 Zerglings, yeah, it gets a bit sketchy there on the math. And it really comes down to the micro, and that's not a situation you want to be in, especially against this 2-1 with the Stim Marines. 1-1 started up, though, for Heromarine. Tanks are also on the way, as we are going to see this creep cleared up at the pocket expansion. Heromarine just going to try and take advantage of the fact that this base is a free drop-off point for his Marines, as it is just Zerglings, and of course the Zerglings don't fight that well here into this force of the Terran, and so Heromarine kind of just stand and fight it. Does pick up, doesn't really want to risk losing 2 anymore. Already drops 3 Marines just to that initial burst of damage from the Zerglings, as Spire is on the way here for Reynor. And that means we're going to see Mutalisk play. And especially on Stargazers, the Muta play is something that can be very, very devastating if you do not handle it correctly as the Terran, because you have that pocket expansion that is directly beside dead airspace, as that Queen gets very, very low. A nice snipe, but one of the medevacs is going to go down. The Queen for a medevac, not exactly an even trade. Reynor's going to be very happy with that. He's going to strand at least a few of these Marines here in the base if Heromarine doesn't evacuate them now, as the 4th hatchery is going down again further down the map. It's much better for Reynor to be able to establish these bases, as right now he's already sitting at 70 workers to the 62 of Heromarine, who, you know, granted, does have 62 workers sitting very, very healthily, as, medevac's going to go down. Creep Troopers will get cleaned up, but another Queen is not going to fall, as the Zergling's just coming in time to clean this up. The choke point is good. Unfortunately, there are just too much Zerg. Reynor will finally clean up that double drop. We are going to see 2 more sent out, though, with tanks. Once again, going to look to take advantage of that position, but there's already Zerglings here, and honestly, Reynor feels completely prepared for all of this pressure that Heromarine is trying to throw out, and there's 9 mutas on the way, and I really do not have any idea what this push is going to get done for Heromarine. There's no real choke point. The Zerglings are just going to come on in. The tanks, the positioning is good, but you're just going to get 1 tank cleaned up, and there's just not enough Marines to make this work. And now you're going to have to deal with these 11 Mutalisks, and what do you have at home? 19 Marines. It's a decent amount. They are in the natural base here, but I mean, here when he's trying to be aggressive and he hasn't scouted the mutas. And I just feel like this is going to get very, very bad here for the Terran. I mean, 5 racks, you have a lot of production. Now the mutas are going to come through. Can't quite dive onto the medevacs with the reinforcements coming through, so it works out here for Heromarine, but now has to be careful of these mutas. Has to be cognizant of them at all times. I see that missile turret placed down, I believe, yeah, at the pocket expansion. Where is the one at the natural? There we go. Will finally be placed down as the 1-1 bio is trying to chase it around, but it just becomes a game of cat and mouse at this point with the Marines and the Mutalisks, where Reynor is constantly trying to dodge the Marines. He's going to try and find as much damage as possible while doing so, and also adding on additional hatcheries, getting additional Zerglings, and Reynor's Muta control is pretty darn good. As there we go, snipes off a refinery, gets 2 SCVs, just backs on up. Knows he's gotten at least enough damage, as this Overlord has gotten too much value, too much information. Here we will finally clean it up. But look at this creep spread at the bottom side of the map, as Reynor has just continued to push it on and on. And man, I wish we had music. Gosh, I mean, I love the sounds, but we need music. And this is an exposed engineering base, actually exposed tanks as well, as the Marines were out of position, so that's going to be a tank going, no, not quite. That one, yeah, Reynor's just going to loop back for it. Does lose a Mutalisk, but that is, again, is a worthwhile mineral trade. Look at the resources lost. It's not even ahead for Heromarine right now. He's actually behind in terms of resources lost, as these Marines are trying to corral in these mutas, but just never quite in position to really find them. And behind this, look at what Reynor's doing. He's just exploding onto the map. Another base being added down here at the gold, as more and more Ling Bane is being added on. 1-1 started up, +1 flyer is going to finish up. And Heromarine has been kept to this 3-base economy. He's finally going to try and add on a 4th, but it is very, very late. I mean, the 9-minute mark, there's not much. And look at the Banelings as they just blow everything up. Heromarine wasn't watching, and that might just be game. And that is a very, very sad end here for Heromarine in game number 2. But Reynor just kind of toys with him. Knows exactly what to do. SCVs are going to go down. And yeah, this is... Man. Just makes it look so easy. GG. 2-0 Reynor.